I've tried to film my sort of rebuttal to Hunter Foster's Facebook group, Give the Tonys Back to Broadway, but I haven't made myself entirely clear each and every time. So I'm going to try and do it here, outside, because I really need to do this. So, the point of his Facebook group is to get rid of the Hollywoodization of the Tony Awards and move it back to where it was a long time ago, where it was truly celebrating the craft of theater. And I support the basic idea, but when you get to the nitty-gritty, I completely disagree. So, I just can't agree with it at all. Especially with the way the Facebook group has turned out now, with people hurting the stars who have won Tonys, like Catherine Zeta-Jones and Denzel Washington, and to an extent Scarlett Johansson. They are all sort of making them out to be the villains. Now, the Tony Awards as they exist today, the point of the Tony Awards as they exist today, is to interest people in Broadway in any way possible. Now, the way they do that is by featuring things that the general public, who are not theater fanatics, like I'm sure those of you who are watching this video are. And as I see it, they do what they can. Even if ratings are going slowly down, they've stayed fairly constant, and their goal is to try to make people interested in theater. And even if it's not reflected in the ratings, people are watching the Tony Awards, and new people are watching the Tony Awards. And I think that trying to make the Tony Awards less Hollywood will just completely ruin the Tonys, because yes, I will be the first to admit that Green Day should not have performed 2 songs. It turned into a Green Day concert. However, having Green Day perform, having Lea Michele and Matthew Morrison perform, having shots of Jay-Z and Beyonce the entire night, having presenters who maybe it's a stretch for them to have a connection to Broadway. The point of doing all of this is to make people interested in theater, and make people interested in specifically the Tony Awards. Because if you are flipping through the channels on a Sunday night, and it's, 8:10, and you're like, I have nothing to watch, and you're flipping through the channels, and you stop on CBS because you see Green Day, and you love Green Day, and you had no idea they were performing on television, you will stop and watch them. Then maybe, just maybe, you will continue to watch it and learn the beauty that is theater. I mean, I am a prime example of the Tony Awards making my interest in theater complete. I was sort of a musical fan before. I loved Rent. I wanted to be in Rent on Broadway, even though I really didn't know what that meant. But then, in 2007, I was flipping through the channels at my grandmother's house, and I saw the Tony Awards. And I stopped and I watched them. That is what the Tony Awards are for, to pique people's interest in them, in theater. And by having the people who, like Mark Sanchez, or Daniel Radcliffe, or, Will Smith, presenting and introducing things. The point is to make the general public have any sort of interest in the theater. This year, the Tony Awards were up against, the NBA Finals and True Blood. You can't really compete with that with the general public. But if you could, what would do it? Green Day? Maybe. Will Smith for 2 seconds? Sure. And that is what the Tony Awards want. Sure, they may not be the craft and representing the craft as it was this season, which wasn't the best, but they tried their best, and you can't go back to what they were before. You can't go back to what they were in the 60s and the 70s, because if you do, no one will watch. Yes, they, made the theater a close-knit community, but they ostracized people too. And by doing that, you may have gotten theater fans, or new theater fans, but you still might not have received the general public's interest. And with more competition today in people's attentions and attention spans, they do what they can to have you sit there and watch a 3-hour broadcast. So, though I agree that the Tony Awards are not what they used to be, they are what they are today, and we still need to appreciate that, and we still need to watch them, and we still need to support them.